General Prologue. This is a tale, both long and new, about a group of kids who had no clue what to do. The power had gone without warning, so they wanted to make stories so they weren't mourning. There was the thought, the snake, the snitch, and more, all huddled in a circle, talking on the floor. The puppet, the memer, sitting in as well, hoping to connect in this school they called a cell. The snake told the thought to begin. The thought sighed and sat in. Thought Prologue. That's stupid and dumb. There's no way that's fun. You guys are useless and weird. I wouldn't hang out with you queers. This was the thought. She was the worst of them all. She didn't like anyone who was born with balls. She'd scream and fight and start arguments all night. What could the boys do to calm her down? She would just say that they were sleeping around. She would lash out in anger from any controversy, showing all men that she had no mercy. So when the snake said, "We should go on an adventure," she quickly said that she would not venture. The puppet suggested that it could be fun. She sighed and shrugged, and so their tale had begun. Thought Tale. They left the school without looking back, saying how that school was on crack. They walked down the street not knowing where to go, when something appeared in front of them. Their ego. It had shaped itself as a giant wall, almost like the one the Mexicans want to fall. They looked at it terrified, realizing how it touched the sky. The thought yelled and screamed at the snake to do something. The snake looked at the wall and scratched his head. He checked his phone to see his girlfriend had left him on red. The wall slowly but surely began to shrink, as the puppet began to think, "I have nothing to live for. I'm simply a puppet. I might as well toss the bucket." The wall falls, just like their ego. They continue walking because they were free to go. Going down the sidewalk, they found another friend. Well, what do you know? It's the thought's boyfriend. His name was the Snitch. He liked to tattle, knowing that his snitching would always cause a battle. The thought slapped him for not being there fast enough, making his face look like a red cream puff. He apologized and cried, saying, "I'm so sorry, my dear." She looked him in the eyes, and her looks filled him with fear. They looked up and saw a big red building. Entering it, it seemed very chilling. On the ground they saw something shiny, something that was very tiny. Why, it was a ring. What an amazing find, with beautiful diamonds that shine so bright they blind. The snake said, "Let's leave before we get caught. I wouldn't want to get the wrath of the thought." The thought turns around and sees the shine and screams, "You ungrateful swine!" The snake and the puppet run, but they aren't fast enough. The snitch grabs them and holds them down, with his face still puffed. "Ha ha! Ha! You thought you got away? It's time to kill you, like a bad movie cliche." And she does exactly that, putting two caps in their heads with her gat. She takes the ring. She has won. She knew she can leave, and her tale was now done. Snake Prologue. The snake was a prick, hated everyone he talked to. He liked to sit back and enjoy the chaos and the view. With two sticks for arms and an edgy hairstyle, kinda like Peter Parker after he got doused in that black bile. With a big brain, he thought he had smarts, showing that he had humongous private parts. He was an intellect, some say. We all know he's probably gay. He likes to spend his days alone in the library, thinking about how friends are temporary. He sits up straight and gets ready to tell the story about how he ruined himself. Snake Tale. Alright. That was an alright story. But let me tell you something a little less boring. I had a group of friends, a great group of guys. We talked and joked about how people made lies. But one day, I thought, why do I hang out with these baboons? They are so dumb it's like their heads are filled with balloons. I started ignoring them, moving on to a different group. I didn't want to hang out with a gang of nincompoops. Their brains are feeble to mine, nothing compares. I think they might need some repairs. They asked me, what was wrong? Why was I gone? I told them to frick off and leave me and go on. And now here I am, with a thought and a puppet. Nowhere else to go. Am I a man or a muppet? I started to hang out with the memer, because he understood my jokes. He was a big brain, just like me, and I felt happy with his strokes. We got married together and have 3 kids now. They are all big brains, but anyhow, that's the end of my tale. I hoped you liked it. Now go on with your life and make sure to stay lit.